So it's Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by unbeaten middleweight Hamzah Sheeraz. Hamzah, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, all good, Danny. All good, mate. Just out here, last few weeks of camp, enjoying it, and that's it. Ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, so it's February the 10th is the new date for your showdown, acid test, a lot of people calling it, against Liam
Yeah,
Williams. It was originally supposed to happen towards the end of last year, but you suffered an injury which forced a postponement. Just tell us
yeah,
about what occurred with the injury and how the rehab's gone.
yeah. No, it's just one of them freak accidents in sparring. I got kind of slapped in the ear, and then it perforated the eardrum. Um, it happens. It's part of the sport, to be fair, and that was it. I had to postpone the fight. Um, and that was it. Just I come back to the UK. Then I think I had about 5 weeks in the UK, and then flew straight back out here once everything was good, and that's it. Like I said, I'm just cracking on with things and glad it didn't get cancelled. It got postponed. So here we are, February the 10th, back at it.
Any frustration? Obviously, it happens, but it's happened before. What would have been and still will be the biggest fight of your career.
Yeah, no, there was at the time because I wanted to have two fights last year in 2023, but it's one of them things you can't really do nothing about it. Do you know what I mean? You can't really do nothing about it. So luckily got the date for early this year, and obviously the February the 10th date, and that's it. So like I said, I've been training since I had the injury anyway, so it is what it is, as they say.
And he got another fight, of course, in the interim in November. When you watch something like that and you realise it only went 77 seconds, is there an element of relief? Because any advantage he'd have got by staying sharp kind of gone with that.
Yeah, not really, to be fair. Whether he would have gone how many rounds it was, 6 rounds or 8 rounds or whatever, I was really and truly paying no attention to it, because at the end of the day, you got to remember he fought a southpaw as well, and someone who wasn't really there to do anything, more or less. So you can't really take too much away from it. But he's more than experienced to not be having warm-up fights anyway. So like I said, it don't really make a difference.
So do you think the delay advantages either of you? I mean, obviously you're the younger, fresher man. Does that help in a way?
It could do. It could. I guess we only find out on the night. But I mean, if you've been staying active and if he's been training, the delay won't really take too much of a toll, I don't think, anyway. But listen, I'm preparing for the best version of him, as I should be doing anyway.
Did you get much of an impression of him when you had the press conference back in London? Did you, size him up, or did you get an impression of how much he's up for the fight, that kind of thing?
No, you can tell he's obviously up for it because you've got to look at it from his perspective. It is his last chance. It's his last big chances, and he gets a win, and that's it. He's back in the mix again. But at the same time, it's my biggest chance as well. It's my biggest fight to date. Like you said, people calling it an acid test, and it's one of these fights that I go out there, I put in a good performance, and then I should be the name in the middleweight division, not even one of the names, the name in the UK, to say the least. So hopefully that happens.
And talking of the middleweight division, we found out during your absence that the long-awaited, in some quarters, fight between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn will not be happening, at least for the time
Yeah.
being. Ben instead returns back down at welterweight against Peter Dobson in the
Yeah.
US. What do you make of all that and the fact that they decided not to go ahead with it in the end?
I personally thought they should have done it. They should have done it. It made sense. It made money. The public was interested. I think ultimately it comes down to promoters' demands and the fighters' demands as well. And we don't see what they request or how stupid or how crazy is what they ask for. So if it was me, I would have cracked on it and got the fight done. But obviously for whatever reason it didn't happen, and that's it. They both continue on with their careers, and I think Conor Benn's in a much better position, to be fair, because he goes back down to 147 and he climbs the rank for a title.
And then looking at Chris Eubank Jr., who's in your weight class, as far as we know, that's where he'll stay for the next fight. He's
Yeah,
still a big name. He won't be fighting Ben anytime soon. You're
yeah,
becoming a bigger name. If you get
yeah,
past Williams, especially if you do it in more devastating fashion than he did, is that a
yeah.
fight you'd like? Is that a fight that could be made?
Million percent. I'd be silly to say nah, this, that, the other. Listen, he's a big name. He's a massive name. He's been around the sport for a long time. Um, yeah, I got to get the main thing is getting the job done, and God willing, I'll do it. Inshallah, it's all about taking the right next step, and I think he'd be perfect. Why not? Or maybe one more fight than him. But let's see how it all plays out.
And also, while you were away, if you like, we saw your promoter, Frank Warren, take the lead very much
Yeah.
in the biggest card of the year, maybe the biggest card in several years, the Day of Reckoning out in Riyadh. What do
Yeah.
you make of it? I mean, obviously, you had a lot of faith in Frank. You signed with him in the first place, but he's just grown
Yeah.
in prominence now.
Yeah, no, that's it. He's taken over. He's taken over the last 2 years or year or so. He's just completely wiped everyone out of the sport. But it's not even about wiping everyone. They're working together. Do you know what I mean? They're working together on a big platform, and it just shows that boxing now is in the best position possible. So being in the sport now as a fighter climbing to top or being at the top now, you're kind of blessed, to be fair. And like you said, Frank always believed in me. I always believed in him, and it just shows I signed with the right promoter at the end of the day.
And seeing the event like that and the fact that your promoter is heavily involved, is that something you'd like? Go out to the Middle East and
Yeah, million
display your
percent,
talents out there?
yeah, 100%. I'd love to go out there, and especially being a Muslim and then fighting in a Muslim country. It just at the end of it just makes sense. Do you know what I mean? So hopefully, who knows what mid or end of 2024 brings. If I fight out there, definitely be something ticked off the older wish list.
And when you do go out there, we looked at some of the fights on the Day of Reckoning. There was British interest on the card underneath the heavyweight division, but those tended to be quite big asks. You know, Lyndon Arthur against Dimitri Bivol and
Yeah.
Ellis Zorro going up against Jai Opatea. Would I be right in thinking when you go out there, you'd want it to be more of a kind of 50-50, you're the A side, if anything?
Yeah, of course you would do, especially it being a dream fighting out there. You don't want to go out there and be someone who you're just going to turn up and just survive for 12 rounds or not even that. Do you know what I mean? So you want to go out there and put on a show for the fans, and when you do go out there, you want to be a name, or you want to be in a position where once you put on a good performance, everyone looks at you like, all right, cool, this is the next big face in boxing.
A fight that had been talked about for you previously over a number of years was your promotional stablemate, Denzel Bentley, who for a long time was British champion, but lost the belts last year to Nathan Heaney. How surprised, if at all, were you by that result?
Yeah, massively surprised, to be fair. I had winning within 4 rounds, but then at the same time, I did say it was one of them. It's one of them fights where if you overlook it and think it's going to be too easy, it'd be one of them where you're 8 rounds into the fight and you're down on the scorecards, and that's it. You got 4 rounds to do your job. But listen, credit to Nathan Heaney, to be fair, he put on performance of his lifetime, and his stock's definitely risen, and I'm sure his confidence and whatnot has as well. So who knows, that'll be a future fight down the line as well.
And back to Queensbury, you've got the huge undisputed title fight between Fury and Usyk, February the 17th. If all goes well on the week before in your fight, will you plan to go out there and watch?
Yeah, no, hopefully I'll definitely be out there. I was on the Usyk card in my last fight in Poland, and listen, their team was really hospitable. They're really nice people as well, and I'm a big fan of both fighters. So it'd definitely be good to be there ringside and be part of heavyweight history.
Well, I don't want you to jeopardise your invitation to the big event, but who do you think is going to come out on top?
If I had to put money on it, I'd put it on Fury. Just basing it off the fact that he had a poor last performance, and he knows now he has to up his game to be that number one. And I mean, you wouldn't really go in the ring against Usyk half-heartedly. Do you know what I mean? You need to be prepared, and I'm sure he's ready there now. Do you know what I mean? He's ready there now, and I think he's basing his I don't know, he's doing the rest of his camp there or whatnot. So listen, you can tell he's taking it seriously, and if I had to put money on it, doing it.
All right, just finally, before I let you go, just tell people out there what they can expect from you and from Liam Williams, the fight itself on February the 10th.
It's a great fight, fireworks to say the least. We're both punchers, and it'll be just be there or be tuning in, because it'll be a great fight for sure.
Great stuff. Hamzah, wish you the best for the rest of your camp.
Danny, thank you very much, mate. Cheers.
And you, mate. Take care. Bye-bye.